Hello viewers, thank you very much for watching this video on capital gains. This is specially made for financial year 2021 and assessment year 21 and 22. My suggestion is that you please take advice from your auditor or from your tax consultant before making any decisions. So this one is just to make how we could optimize our taxes. Tax planning is completely ethical. Tax evasion is unethical. So here we are only talking about tax planning, what is really ethical. Now, let me get into the presentation. Typically, our client profile is broadly categorized into two categories, individuals and non-individuals. Within individuals, most of our clients are domestic, and there are a set of clients who are NRIs, right from US all the way to UK, Malaysia, and Singapore and Australia. So predominantly we help doctors, IT professionals and all that stuff on their financial planning journey. And when it comes to non-individuals, we support both entrepreneurs and we run a small family office. Now the beautiful thing is whatever I'm going to talk about capital gains will be really applicable for all set of clients, which means that if you look at our income tax form, there are 5 broad categories are there: income from salaries, income from house property, income from business, capital gains, and income from other sources. Now, if you talk about capital gains, what the government of India is saying is that yeah, you made an investment. Now that you are selling that investment for a higher price, maybe you have to share a portion of the income that you made. That's called as capital gains. That's what we are going to talk about in this particular deck. Now that we have understood about capital gains, let us look at capital gains under 3 different sections. One is called as capital gains are classified into 2 broad categories. One is called a short term, another one is called long term. So I buy an asset and I sell it within a short time span, then it becomes a short term capital gain. Which means, for example, if I buy a real estate and try to sell it within, let's say, 18 months or less than 2 years, it is a short term capital gain. Let's say I buy a equity, let's say TCS or Infosys or Wipro, I buy that particular stock and then I sell it within 12 months, it becomes short term. But on the other hand, when you cross the threshold, for example, if it is a non-equity mutual fund, you are supposed to hold it for more than 3 years. The moment it becomes long term, the beautiful advantage that you get is called indexation. For the benefit of each and every viewer, I'm going to repeat the same topic once or twice so that you will know how to optimize your taxes. So this is by duration. And in terms of asset classes, in this presentation, I'm going to predominantly talk only about equity and non-equity. That means I'm not going to talk about real estate. When I talk about non-equity here, I'm talking about gold funds and I'm talking about something called debt funds. And there are times where we would have incurred some losses. That I call it a scenario. It could be a short-term capital loss or it could be a long-term capital loss. See, for example, when the interest rate starts moving up, what will happen is the bond prices will start coming down. So, we'll be ending up with a loss. And thankfully, when you do the right amount of strategy, you can minimize your taxes. Now, we were talking about equity and non-equity, and we were talking about what is long-term and short-term. So to reiterate, a mutual fund is classified as a equity mutual fund when 65% of the total assets are deployed either in equity shares or in derivatives. And those equity shares can be either from large cap, mid cap, or small cap, or it could be multi-cap or a flexi cap or whatever. So if you buy a particular fund and exit within a year, then it is called a short term. And for short term, the tax incidence is just 15% plus surcharge. There's a flat 15%, you have to pay on the gains. If I make money on one particular fund, I lose something money on the second fund, you can actually do a set off. So I'll also be talking about this in the next slide. Okay. As we move forward, right? This is very, very important. What happens is every year, let's say, Government of India says that you can make a long-term capital gain of 1 lakh, let's say from equity funds, and that first 1 lakh is tax-free. Let's assume that in your family, there are 4 members are there, 4 adults are there, tax filing people are there. Obviously, you can get 4 lakhs as tax exempt. We should not be missing this particular opportunity. So that is very, very important. For example, if you do it postpone it for 3 to 4 years and then you try to sell it, what happens is when you make more than 1 lakh gain, you have to pay some 10% as over and above 1 lakh, you need to pay 10%. That's what on the gain you need to pay. On the short term, it is 15%. Please understand that today we are also investing in something called balanced advantage fund, hybrid fund and all. Those funds where more than 65% is held in equity, balanced advantage fund and all, it is still treated as equity funds for you. Okay. Now, what is meant by non-equity fund? A non-equity fund is the one where it invests predominantly in, let's say, money market instruments or corporate debt instruments or government bonds, right? Or in corporate deposits, those kind of things that they make it. So non-equity funds are two broad categories. One is called fixed income, another one is called gold. Like, gold funds are also called as non-equity funds. Here, you are supposed to keep it for 36 months. Short term is less than 36 months. Now, unfortunately, some of us would have invested in, let's say, a gold fund, let's say in last August or something like that. And today the prices would have been corrected by, let's say, 15%. Nothing to worry, like, you can sell it and then re-enter it at a lower price right now, so that even if you have money from, let's say, liquid fund, if you have made some money kind of liquid fund or from, like, corporate debt or money market, that particular, let's say, the gain can be adjusted with the gold loss. So there is a possibility is there. That's what is called as tax harvesting or, like, tax planning. Now, if you had kept the same investment, there are some people who are keeping the investment for more than 3 years, then what happens is you get something called an indexation benefit. Now, what is meant by an indexation benefit? I'll be covering it in a separate slide. It's based on the cost inflation index. You actually pay taxes only above this particular indexation. Short term, like, you are actually being taxed at the tax rate. Most of my clients are in 30% tax bracket. So it is very important that if you are in a 30% tax bracket, and especially, like, you're having a short-term capital gain, you should look at tax loss harvesting strategies. Now, we talked about indexation. Let's go through that with an example. Let's say Mr. Rahul purchased a non-equity fund for worth, let's say, 10 lakhs of rupees when the cost inflation index was 272. Now, this year, the cost inflation index is 301. So which means that if he's going to sell, Mr. Rahul is going to sell this 10 lakhs investment today, he has to pay taxes only when it exceeds 11.06 lakhs. That means, like, what the government of India is saying is that it's, yes, there is an inflation is there. Whatever is beyond the inflation, you pay 20% taxes, which is really good. But if you do the same investment in fixed deposits or in RBI bonds or in a savings bank account, you don't get these kind of indexation benefit. So indexation benefit is really, really useful, especially, like, if you're a retiree or, like, if you're in a mid-aged professional, indexation really helps because the net tax that you're going to pay will be much, much lesser and the yield will be much, much higher, right? And not only that, from last year onwards, what has happened is that any dividend that you're going to receive from stocks or from your mutual funds in excess of 5,000 will be taxed at the slab rate. And they're going to be deduction of how will the government come to know about it? They're going to deduct 7.5%, like, as TDS. Once they deduct a TDS, you will get it in Form 26AS and you will not be able to avoid it. So which means that it is very important that you don't be in something called monthly dividend option or, like, quarterly dividend option or a periodical dividend option. Don't be in mutual funds. So it's better that you talk to your financial planner regarding this. This will also help you to save some money. And more important, and the most important, is called set off. Now, the short-term capital loss, if you're going to incur any kind of a short-term income capital loss, that can be set off against the capital gains in the same year. So that's why I said, like, if you're invested in a gold fund, it's not doing really well, I think we can sell it now and then buy it back within a week's time, right? That is really, really useful. And there are 2-3 points are there. We can cover it, considering, like, I want to cover this within 10-12 minutes. So I'm not getting dive deep into it. Okay. And more importantly, let's talk about 2 or 3 case studies. For example, if Mr. Kumar had invested in a non-equity mutual fund in 2019 and he sold it for a 4 lakhs profit because he has not covered the entire 3-year period, right? And he's in the highest tax slab of 30%. Now you need to look at other options, like, how you can bring down his tax liability. And we have another, let's say, 2 to 2.5 weeks for this. Similarly, if Mr. John had bought a gold fund in August 2020 and it's down by 15%, he can actually, like, sell it and buy it back, and he can carry forward this particular loss for next 8 financial years. So it's not necessary that, like, the short-term capital loss has to be adjusted in the same year. And let's assume that, like, you are a client, like, where you have invested in PMS, and when the market is very high and then you have exited the PMS, you will be incurring both short-term capital gains and long-term capital gains. There are like few options in which you can try to do it. My suggestion is that is you should talk to your investment advisor or to your auditor or to the tax planner and see how you could optimize it. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us. I'll be reaching out to my clients in the next 1 or 2 weeks, and then ensure that they are getting the right kind of an advice, and then how we could do it really well. Thank you very much, and you can share this video with your friends. Thank you.